this episode of Stadium Center, new props for building parks, the votes are in for the Creator Showdown Challenge, and over 25 stadiums are showcased throughout the entire episode. Get ready, because Stadium Center is back. Hey guys, and welcome to Stadium Center, your number one stop for everything Stadium Creator and MLB The Show. It's been quite a while since we've had our last episode, so let's get into what's new. Since our last episode, SDS gave us 80 new props, starting with some really great looking turn-of-the-century buildings, and the best part is they hardly use any memory. We also got some really great small detailing props, and the fan favorite has gotta be those stairs. We have been waiting for those for a very long time. On the transportation side of things, we got a steamboat and some steam locomotive trains. Very cool. We also got some pretty cool animatronic pieces in a crane and a bridge, and we also got 4 new animals, including 3 horses and a dog, and another dog has since been added. There's also new big concrete slabs, and those are going to go great for building plazas. There's also a racetrack. I'm not really sure I'd use this. This prop is massive. Lastly, we got some new batter's eyes. The first one, the flags are stationary, which I'm not a big fan of, but I really love this second one. It kind of reminds me of the Polo Grounds. That's it for the new props. Now let's head back to the studio for the showdown. Alright, now on the last episode of Stadium Center, we started a new showdown challenge to build your best minor league baseball field. We got the results in for the first 2 divisions, and here they are. In the Eastern Division, with 40% of the vote, we had Palm Tree Park. And over in the West, we had Big Bend Park by Texas Ags, and that got 36% of the vote. It's going to come down to these two, so let's dive right into them. All right, guys, for our championship round, we have Big Bend Park and Palm Tree Park. We're going to take one final look at each of these entries, but this time without any commentary, and we're going to let the parks speak for themselves. Alright guys, this is going to be a tough choice, and it's up to you to determine the winner. Voting is live now over on the community tab of the Stadium Center YouTube page, so get on over there and let us know who you think deserves to win. In the meantime, I want to announce the next Showdown Challenge, as it's an idea I ran by everyone over on the Discord server. This is going to be a template challenge. The only rule, you cannot adjust the wall distances or heights. That's it. Everything else is fair game, including the wall colors and batter's eye. You are also allowed to add wall props such as doors and windows as you see fit. If you'd like to get in on this challenge, simply head to the vault and search Sewell21 and download SC Challenge 1, or just search for it by name. We're going to take a quick break and take a look at our featured creator when Stadium Center returns. Hey guys, and welcome back to Stadium Center, your one-stop show for all things MLB The Show Stadium Creator. Be sure to get those votes in for the finalists of our Showdown challenge, and I hope to see your entry for the new template challenge that we got going on. If you win, you might just find yourself as a big part of our next episode in this next segment, which is the featured creator. Alright guys, so this week's featured creator is Jedi Yank for not only being an amazing stadium builder, but also winning the first ever Stadium Creator Showdown Challenge, which I think I'll continue to keep as an award for winning the Showdown Challenges. Maybe down the line, if my channel grows a bit, I'll be able to do some better prizes. Let's take a look at Jedi's first stadium named Barbenheimer Park, which he named after opening weekend of the Barbie movie and Oppenheimer. As you guys may know, he always includes TV and movie references in his parks, which always make them fun to poke around in and add an extra element of intrigue. We've got 3 more stadiums of his to check out, so keep an eye out for those Easter eggs hidden throughout his parks. Next up is his tribute field to someone who happens to be my favorite player of all time, Mariano Rivera. With him being the first ever first ballot Hall of Famer and also only one of 2 to achieve that monumental award on the first try, he really picked a deserving player, and as you can probably guess by his name, he is also a huge Yankees fan. He has included some waterfalls in center, and I love the ivy cascading down from the bridge above. Right field has a nice bleacher section and also some custom bullpens in the corners. This field looks great at night, and I can definitely see Mo entering the field as the lights go down and the crowd erupts as Enter Sandman plays on the speakers as he comes in for the save. Nice work on this one too, Jedi, and let's take a look at your next one. Alright guys, this is Shepard Park, and this one is a video game reference as it's named after Commander Shepard from the video game series Mass Effect. There is a hidden N7 located in the stadium. See if you can spot it as we move around the field. Now, I haven't personally played the Mass Effect games, but they are installed on my computer and I really need to get around to checking them out as I've heard great things. Maybe that'll be the next series I play so I can cross it off my list. Just a quick note, I apologize for the Cleveland Indians all over 2 of these parks, Jedi. I realized I forgot to switch them halfway through recording your parks. Anyway, this is another cool stadium and it looks great outside the park as he's included full parking lots and a park along the river that has some naval ships hanging outside the stadium. This park checks all the boxes at night with some great views, and I really like the custom batter's eye out in center field, and including different colored trees add to the realistic look. Just another solid build by Jedi. Our last stadium by Jedi Yank is Sterling Cooper Stadium. I believe the name is a Mad Men reference, but I'm not 100% sure as I didn't have it in my notes. I saved this stadium for last as it has a multi-level garden terrace, which is going to get a top 5 feature nomination. The center field area looks fantastic with a multi-level concourse and a light rail station to arrive to the game from, which would give you an excellent first look into the ballpark. I really enjoyed checking out all of these stadiums from Jedi Yank, and if you enjoyed them too, be sure to take a look at his vault as he has many more great parks to see. That'll conclude this week's featured creator, and with that, let's head back to the studio. Congratulations again to Jedi Yank for winning the first ever Stadium Creator Showdown Challenge. If you'd like to see yourself as a featured creator, be sure to participate in our challenges as the winner will get their vault spotlighted. Now, if you guys didn't know, I also build stadiums and I've started doing them on live stream so I can take some suggestions from you guys in the chat and we can build some parks together. And that's going to lead us right into our next series, which is the YouTube Stadium Creator Series. Alright, I can't let you guys have all the fun, but I definitely encourage you to have some fun with me and help me build some stadiums. These are the parks that I've built, which I've now started doing on live streams. We're currently working on a turn of the century park with new props, so drop on by and drop some suggestions. If your ideas make it into the build, you'll get full credit for your idea and that section of the park named after you. I do go live pretty randomly, so if you don't want to miss it, turn your notifications on. This was my first complete build on a live stream, and I had the idea of building a park in Venice with the Venetian canals as a backdrop. And while we don't have gondolas, canoes are a great substitution, and of course we had to include a dedication to the man responsible for the wave of canoes in recent submissions. Phil at Studio 44 has set up shop and provided a video board that was missing from this park on top of his flashy canoe rental store. Just beyond the right field area, I made a park to break up the city and give something a little different to see, and with a clock tower in the middle, I think it turned out great. While I wish the lighting on the city was better, I really couldn't do much without having ugly light towers everywhere, but I'm still pretty happy with how this build turned out. Any parks I create will also be available for download in the vault. Our next build is dedicated to the late great Willie Mays and is located in San Francisco. I really have to start paying more attention to the video boards, as I'm just now realizing I forgot to change it from the Yankees. Since it's one of my parks, I can just live with it instead of re-recording everything. I think this is my first attempt at a symmetrical style stadium, but I like the way it turned out, and I actually think this is one of my better builds. I had a couple guys post videos on our Discord of them using this stadium, and it really made my day. I have had a lot of fun building these on live stream and getting to know you guys better in the chat, and I want to thank everyone who drops in to say hi and give some suggestions. The stadium creator community has been awesome, and if you'd like to share your works in progress or just chat with me and some of the other stadium creator legends that I feature, be sure to join the Discord. And now it's time to debut our newest segment on Stadium Center. Our first ever stadium on the debut of the Stadium Remix series was originally one of my creations and actually what I think is my best stadium I've ever built. Karma's dad, however, has remixed it twice and made it look absolutely amazing. He redid this version after the anomalies no longer appeared in the game. The first thing he did is clean up the path to the lighthouse and add the canopy in left field. Then where the Twins anomaly once stood, he added a great bleacher section with a standing room suite below. He also drastically improved the right field corner by removing the pirate ship and adding the statue and Hall of Fame section above a maintenance storage area. He also changed the color of the seats, which I think look really great, and the scoreboards from his last remix still remain above the restaurant in right field. If you'd like to get this stadium, it's available in the vault as Clemente Field at Paradise Cove by Carmen's dad. If you have a stadium remix or just a stadium you'd like to see possibly featured, just click the link to the Google form in the description, and if it's a remix, include the info in the section that says tell me about your park. So far I've only done a handful of streams, but I've had a lot of fun getting to know you guys in the chat and taking your suggestions while building some stadiums. Sometimes when we're not building though, we'll go looking through the vault to see if we can find any hidden gems, and we'll even take a look at your guys' stadiums on stream. If we do find any hidden gems, or we take a look at yours on stream, it's a surefire way to get them fast-tracked into the next episode when we take a look inside the vault. Our first stadium on this week's Inside the Vault is Crenshaw Park by Danboy V3. You may be familiar with some of his builds, as he has had some featured over on Phil's channel at Studio 44. This is a creator I wish I could see him build a park if we had no memory limitations, as his parks are so detailed. Starting off, we can see this great Paradise pool area and entrance gate out in the left field corner. This is definitely a top 5 feature nominee. Center field continues with a great 2-tiered concourse to catch all the action from, and includes a Hall of Fame circle below the scoreboard and some cabanas on the first level for a great place to chill out during the game. Right field looks great with a double-deck home run porch and plenty of concessions to grab a bite to eat at. I also want to highlight the outside of the stadium, as they've gone into great detail with the parking lots leading right up to the professionally decorated entrance gates. They've definitely gone the extra mile here. This park looks just as great at night as it does in the day. I would definitely consider downloading this park and putting it into your regular rotation. A solid job by Danboy, and I look forward to seeing more work from him in the future. The next stadium that we're going to show off is Moonshine Mountain. Now, I've seen this all over the vault, but I still think it's a pretty cool park, and I wanted to highlight some of the features on it. Center field looks amazing, but it looks like they lost quite a bit of props to the prop glitch that just seems to be unavoidable these days. Anyway, there's a cool team store in the corner and lots of vendors down below. This is also a retractable roof stadium, and it looks pretty cool at night as well. As much as I would like to credit the original user, when I tried to look it up, there were over 1,300 pages of this stadium, and since I can't scroll just to the last one, I'm just going to leave it as unknown. Let's take one quick look at the exterior, and now let's move on to the next stadium. The next park that popped up randomly while I was searching for your guys' submissions was Skyliner Park by, yep, his name is Slapnuts. But that doesn't stop this from being a very cool park with a minor league feel to it. He's got a lot of great vendors down the right field line, and he's included some real ones like Pizza Hut and Skyline Chili. There's also a pretty cool Hall of Fame section that he's built, and it's covered over in the right field corner. This park also features a great skyline in the outfield, and some of those new buildings just light up really well. I also really like the football field in right, as it gives you a downtown feel of a stadium complex. Nice job on this one, Slappy, and I'm gonna see if you have any more. Our last stadium on Inside the Vault is another one that you're probably gonna see pop up all over the place. This one is the Moon. This one also has pages and pages of it, so I didn't get the original user's name, but that doesn't stop from being a cool stadium with a really unique concept. And with a max elevation like you'd expect, you're gonna hit some real dingers here. Based on how this park is built, it looks like it's in a crater, and I kind of imagine it being under a glass dome so that you'd be able to walk around freely without a spacesuit. How else would you be able to play mini golf without your ball just floating away? One of the main appeals to this park for me is that it uses a lot of props that I would just never use, but in a pretty appropriate manner. I'm guessing we would probably see a more updated version very soon now that we have the futuristic prop pack that came out a couple months ago. As cool as I think this park is, if I wanted a future park, I think I would still go with Park Labatt by Carmen's dad. However, this is a pretty cool and unique concept build, and whoever made it, great job. All right, we can squeeze one more park in. This is Under Armour Park by Pet Pet, also known as Baseball Card Brothers, who has that stadium in the Showdown final. This wasn't just a random one that I found, but he asked me to look at it on stream, and I thought I would just include it in this week's episode. This park is kind of a mix of the fields we've seen, as it has some futuristic objects in it, but it's got more of a classic feel to it as well. He's built a giant concourse, as it included a lot of vendors and picnic seating, and there are a lot of places where you'll be able to see the game right through the outfield walls. I'm not always the biggest fan of the nighttime lighting in this game, but this park might be just one of the few that looks better at night than it does during the day, thanks to those props being lit up in the background. This is a very cool park by Baseball Card Brothers, and he's got a lot of great parks in his vault too. That's going to be a wrap on Inside the Vault. Now let's head back to the studio as we get ready for everybody's favorite segment. Alright guys, this is what you've been waiting for, but before we get started, just one quick reminder. Click the link in the description for the form below to submit your stadium to get it featured on this channel, and you just might find yourself in the next Stadiums That Inspire. Alright guys, we've got 11 great stadiums to show off, ranging in everything from massive 50,000 plus coliseums to small hometown recreations. We're going to kick it off with ADM Park 79 by N. Jonkers. This is N. Jonkers' first submission to the channel, and I'm glad I finally got to it. It has a lot of really cool features in it, including some architecture that's custom, and it makes me want to try some different things with my future builds. This is an international stadium, which I wish we'd see more of, but when we do, we always get some fresh looks and some new ideas. I really like what he did with this corner here, and as you guys know, those are the biggest things I struggle with. But that's nothing compared to this amazing custom hotel over the left field bleachers. You guys know without a doubt, this is a top 5 feature nominee. I love all the balconies, and I love the curved surfaces that really give it a modern look. Over in right field, we get even more fantastic custom architecture and what I believe is our first ever "Don't Hit It Here" sign, which is cleverly hanging out over foul territory. There are a lot of fans hanging out on the roof, and I sure hope it doesn't get too windy up there for them. This park looks great under the lights, and it looks like a fun place to play a game in. It is eligible for online play, so give it a download and check it out for yourself. Let's take another look at this fantastic hotel and then one more overview of the park. Awesome job, N-Jockers, and please send more stadiums my way. Alright guys, time to switch it up and go a little old school with Cooperstown Park by Jonely Lonely. The park they had submitted to me said it was called Cooperstown Park Reimagined, but I couldn't find it in their vault with the full name, so I'm guessing this is the one they wanted shown off. You guys know I'm a big fan of old school parks, but honestly, I'm pretty much a fan of all the great stadiums you guys send my way. The building in the corner looks great, and I love all the foliage growing up the bridge. They made great use of the brick factory in right field, and I love the idea of putting a lounge or restaurant on the roof to catch the game from, and the Cooperstown signage is a perfect fit on that building. They made great use of the buildings with the rooftop stands on them, and the architecture fits New York really well. Flipping the lights on and you can see this park would make a great home park for a franchise, or just crushing some dingers at a home run derby, as there are a lot of great targets. The view from on top of the bridge is pretty cool to walk along, and catching a home run up here would be awesome. This has been another fantastic submission, and I can't thank you guys enough for all the great parks you always send my way. The different styles just keep coming as we take a look at Crescent Ballpark by Poppy 502 420. Built in Columbus, Ohio, this park holds almost 53,000 fans. It has a pretty high altitude at over 3,200 feet, but also deep wells to make the difference up. They've made really great use of their concourse space by including fountains, restaurants, and a party deck to hang out on. No dead space behind the batter's eye, as they've got a restaurant and escalators heading down there. Behind the batter's eye, we have a really great backdrop as they've stacked gymnasium buildings and centered them in those rounded condo towers. I'm going to go ahead and give this a top 5 feature nominee. They've managed to light this stadium very well, with still keeping the lights in realistically placed areas high up by the roof, and they've also included advertising in places you definitely see them in real life stadiums. Great job on this one, Poppy, and be sure to send me more. Next up, we're going to take a look at Drew Downing Field by Coach Allen. Now this one is less of a stadium build and more of an entire city build. He says this is based off of a field from his hometown with Little League and softball fields surrounding it. Coach Allen did a great job building a very realistic city, and I might just have to try and find this on Google Maps if possible so I can compare the two. I've always thought about recreating my hometown high school field complex, and this just might give me the motivation I need to do it. This definitely brings back memories of playing traveling team baseball in my much younger days. I would love to know where this park is located, so Coach Allen, if you see this, please let me know in the comments, and please send any more stadiums my way if you have something you'd like shown off. Next up, we're going to head out to the VA for King William Park by The Game Anchor. Coming in with another really unique build, this park reminds me of a small town fair that's centered around the local baseball stadium. I love the atmosphere here and all the fans walking around and enjoying the entire area and not just all facing towards the field. The farm in left field is awesome, and I love that the barn has the "Hit It Here" sign. If we come in from center field, we get a great entrance to the park and can either hit the team shop or grab some food at nearby vendors. Above the batter's eye is just one of many custom rooftop seating areas, and there's no seat with a bad view in this entire park. I can just imagine all the kids chasing down home runs in that cornfield and competing to see who can find it first for bragging rights. This park looks really nice with the lights on and has a really cozy feel to it. It's a great change up in style from all the parks that I don't think we see enough of. I really enjoyed looking around this field as I was recording and finding more and more small details as I went through. Really nice work on this one, Game Anchor, and if you got any more, be sure to send me some in the forums that you can find in the description below. Next up is Manhattan Field by MTA Bus Driver, who I believe is the only returning creator in this entire episode of Stadiums That Inspire. This field has some pretty unique dimensions with a mostly home plate shaped playing area, and if you've seen other builds by MTA before, you'll have no problem recognizing his style that is highlighted in this build. So with that, let's jump in and take a look at some of the features in this park. Starting off, we can see those unique field dimensions come into play as the corner is very shallow, but quickly gets deeper the less you pull the ball. Center field has a great view, and the picket fencing used on top really gives some Yankee Stadium style architecture to the build. I really like that he did an old school style stadium, but he went with blue instead of the green for the main color scheme. Jumping on top of the roof, we get a good look at the view from the bleachers. Hope you brought your sunscreen. And if not, we'll just head to a night game here as the view is phenomenal. I can imagine this park induces a lot of triples and is a pitcher's ERA nightmare. MTA, I believe this is the last park I had of yours, so send me more if you got them. Now let's head out to Boston for McAllister Ballpark by Croc Clone. This park reminds me of the old style parks where they had to fit the stadium in what little area they were given. The nearby buildings are very close to the stadium and would be awesome to work in, as I would be staying late quite a bit to catch games from my office window. I've never been to Boston, but I'd love to go, but I can imagine there are a lot of warehouses and brick buildings in that area, and this really sells that style. The water tower and football stadium beyond the batter's eye are a nice touch, and this stadium looks great all lit up. I would also be very wary of walking alone in the area surrounding this park, as it looks like it might be in a rough area. Good work on this one, Croc. I love the city skyline behind home, and this is the first time I've ever felt unsafe in an MLB The Show stadium. Let's get out of here. Next up, grab your sticks as we're headed out to Orange Lake Golf Club by Chris A.T. Johnson. Well, turns out I was wrong, as we do have 2 returning creators in this episode. As you guys know, Chris has some of the more unique and interesting ideas we see with this parks. This is no exception, as outside this stadium is an entire 18-hole golf course. This stadium is set in Florida, and I could definitely see this being something you'd see in the Grapefruit League for spring training, and I'm kind of surprised it's not already a thing. I'm a huge fan of golf, and combine that with baseball and I'm in heaven. I had a really great time following along on all the holes, and yes, there really are 18 of them. And just in case you're not great at golf, there's a mini golf course for some added fun in left field. Right field has a small little lounge on top of a restaurant for a few lucky fans, and if you really get a good poke, you might just get a splash shot. I always love the unique ideas that Chris comes up with, and if you have any more, be sure to send them to me. I'm always looking forward to what crazy ideas you have. Next up on the list, we're headed out to the ATL for the Power Grid by GD Ren 02. Now, I don't usually play favorites, but this stadium makes it very hard not to, as it is really well designed and very cleanly built with some awesome features in it. Kicking it off behind a home plate, I could swear this was a real stadium that was already in the game. I usually say it at the end, but I'm going to say it right now. GD Ren, listen closely. Send me more parks. I love the picnic areas over the right field wall and the little fountain area in center field with the statues. The concourse in left looks great with the restaurant and outdoor seating, and below it is a feature called Pat's Pond that looks like an awesome full-size swimming pool to catch the game in and get out of the sun on those really hot days. And you can even drop a home run in there. No surprises here that they've got the lighting covered and have provided a really great city backdrop beyond the outfield. This is definitely one of the more clean builds we've seen in a while, and I really do hope to get to see more from you very soon. Just a reminder one more time that if you have a stadium you'd like to possibly see featured on this channel, you can submit it in the Google form below that's in the description. Just click the link and fill out the form. And with that, we're going to wrap up the Power Grid, and let's head on out to our next stadium. Next up, we're heading to Maryland for Roten Park by Smallville Horror. This is a massive Coliseum-style stadium with a very vertical design. It holds a whopping 53,000 and some change, and I think it's a record for the biggest capacity for any park I've shown on this channel. They've included some pretty cool features like a fountain and garden area in left field, and even a double-stacked steakhouse up above the left field line. Center field has some good-looking fountains and a cool restaurant with a patio to catch the game from. This park looks pretty cool at night, and with all those video ribbons, you can expect the atmosphere during a home run to be extra electrifying with all those fans in attendance. I just hope there are plenty of exits for everyone to get out of here. The giant double video board stacked up with a Ferris wheel in the background really top off this stadium, and it's going to earn itself a top 5 nominee. Nice job, Smallville. Now let's head on over to our last stadium of Stadiums That Inspire. Alright guys, we are heading out to Kentucky for our last stadium, which is Yellow Banks Park version 3 by Rock and Roll Over. Located in Owensboro, Kentucky, this is a mid-sized stadium at just over 21,000 fan capacity. The first thing I really like is how they mixed up the stands down the line, and the restaurant over in the corner with the picnic area down below is really cool. Again, nice job with the corners. Over in left field, we get some covered bleachers in a double deck party area, not to mention a great view of that bridge in the background. The center field concourse leads back to the steakhouse and a dock to ride to the stadium by ferry boat. There's also a nice building that the bleachers are built into in right field. The right field corner has an awesome building with suites built into the side, giving a unique look and a top 5 nominee. I really love the look of this part at night, especially over here from the corners in foul territory. It's too bad this park isn't online eligible, but I totally get it as I love building with my own custom walls to give a park an extra unique play style. That's going to be a wrap on this episode for Stadiums That Inspire. But stick around as we're going to count down the top 5 park features from this episode. Let me know if you agree with the top 5 and what you think makes a great park feature, as I'd love to hear your thoughts. So with that, let's count them down. Coming in at number 5 is the corner suites from Yellow Bank Stadium. With seats and suites coming off that brick building, they really spruced up what could have been an otherwise boring corner, and the angling of the roof at 90 degrees to give it that wave pattern was a great finishing touch. At number 4, we have the Garden Terrace Suite section from Sterling Cooper Stadium by Jedi Yank. This was a fantastic way to add some luxury amenities into the park while substituting out what could have been another sea of bleacher sections in the outfield. Number 3 is the Batter's Eye structure in center field from Crescent Ballpark. The stacked gymnasium buildings give this a great modern look with plenty of glass and arching roofs. The hotel towers with balconies on either side finish off this great stadium centerpiece. Number 2, we're headed out to Roten Park for another Batter's Eye structure. With everything from cascading waterfalls to restaurants with outdoor patio views of the game, this Batter's Eye really has it all. Add a couple scoreboards and that backdrop and you've got a scenic view. And coming in at the top spot, we have the hotel from ADM Park 79. With so many concourse pieces giving this unique and modern look and including everything from balcony views to rooftop vendors, it's no wonder why this took the number 1 spot in this episode. Alright guys, that's going to be a wrap on this episode of Stadium Center. I really hope you guys enjoyed the show. Just a couple quick reminders. Go ahead and join our Discord. Submit your stadiums in the Google form below. And if you feel like it, check out the merchandise. Any profits that I make will go back into making this channel better for you. Alright guys, have a good night, and as always, I hope to see you in the next one.